Look in my eyes for my mind state. I'm on the grind 25-8. Money on my mind, that's how I play. If you got it now, this what I say. Hold up, hold up, hold up, wait. Hold up, hold up, hold up, wait.
Hey, episode 4. You got not have a stand.
I did this last episode, man, so he ain't saying nothing.
Episode 4 of the Swerve City Podcast. What's up, everybody? How's it going? We got actually a full room right now. We'll reveal who's the other person sitting in on this episode. But yeah, we had 4 episodes now, y'all.
Y'all, we still here, so you know people like
ain't
us.
been canceled yet.
Right. People like us.
Thank you, Vince. Moving on. So yeah, episode 4, Swerve City Podcast. We here in Orlando. Boom, check it out. We got my man Monteasy Scott over here.
What's up, y'all? Monteasy Scott, co-host Swerve City Podcast. Monteasy Scott, everything, Instagram, Twitter, things of that nature. You know, glad to be back for episode 4, my G.
And we got Big Sis, Big Swole over here, Aerial Monroe. What's good?
Big Swole, and well, you know, everything's good in the hood. Well, at least in Swole's world, everything's good.
Swole's World. Let's talk about Swole's World.
What
we get approved on in Swole's World.
Hey, man, listen.
I can't say Swole's World right.
You can't say it.
Swole's
Swole's
World.
World. Swole's World.
Swole's World. Swole's
World. Party time.
Excellent.
Don't make that sound.
He was alone on that. Is he gonna keep going?
No, but the thing is, like,
Pause.
well, you don't know about that Wayne's World yet.
I know what that is.
Exactly. Don't be speaking for her. She know what it is.
We'll
She
get
know
to you
what
in a
it
second.
was.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Back to Swole's World.
Exactly. Swole's World coming to you soon. I'm actually starting filming in 2 weeks at Raleigh SuperCon. So if you're in North Carolina doing the 24th to the 27th, come holler at me, FSCW. I'm going to be out there reporting and interviewing people and just being me. Just a little tidbit into Swole's World.
Who are some people that's going to be at the con anyway?
Well, actually, we're going to have... Well, I'm going to start off with my personal favorite. Jodie Benson is the voice of Ariel, the Little Mermaid. You know, that one time for Ariel. So her and Prince Eric, he ain't nothing either. But, you know, he's going to be there. He's going to be there. The whole cast of Rocky Horror Picture Show is going to be there. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch is going to be there on Friday.
Man's man.
Yes, the man's man.
Man's man.
And then Charlotte and the Hardy Boys will be there on Saturday as well. So it's just a whole lot of people. Actually, it's just going to be there. Power Rangers, anything for Harry Potter. We're going to have the Doctor Who, David Tennant. He's going to be there. So that's going to be pretty awesome.
And you can begin an interview with any one of these people.
Any one of these people. There's literally like a list of people that are on there. So if you go in a Google Raleigh SuperCon and you have somebody on there that you would like me to interview, please let me know.
Hit her up on the Swerve City Podcast.
Yeah.
Twitter, social media, all that. Aerial Monroe's social media. Hit her up and say, like, hey, I want to see you interview this person. I want to see you talk about this. And where you'll be able to watch it is at the YouTube page, Swerve City Podcast on YouTube. What you got cooking up over there? Because I put you point on a project, and you are running the damn thing. So what you got cooking up over there, bruh?
Oh, real quick, man. You know, I'm the man. Video drops. You know, NXT weekend. You know, SummerSlam weekend. I'm the man. Video. We're doing day 2 of the shoot this upcoming Wednesday next week on the 17th. You know, we got a lot of special guests. I ain't gonna say who. You gotta watch the video for that. But
or follow us on social media.
Swerve City Podcast. Swerve City Podcast. You know, at you know, you can follow everything there at Swerve City Podcast Official on Instagram. You know, and I'll reveal it there first. But you know, I'm the man. Video shoots. If you guys ever check that out on iTunes, Google Play, or digital market stores, I'm the man. With me, my brother, Isaiah Scott. And, you know, we are making things pop. The song is really getting a lot of feedback, great feedback. So we did day 1 of the video shoot. The only thing I did announce is that the big homie, Cedric Alexander, is in the video. So that's the only thing I'm announcing.
Bing.
Boo thing.
Thank you to my sister for the setup as well, because she had a lot with orchestrating that as well, making that happen.
And I was one of the groomsmen. He better pay me back on that favor.
Absolutely.
Actually, I was the favorite.
So he came through. That's the one name I will drop. So, you know, SummerSlam weekend, look out for that video. I'm the man. And and can't wait to drop that. So
His name is Gary now.
Gary Harbutt. What's his name? Garbutt? Garbett?
Something like
Gary.
It was something.
I think it was the snail
Gary
from
Gerber
SpongeBob.
Jr.
Meow.
Meow meow.
Meow.
Yes.
Now, moving on to the guest of the evening.
I'm going to pan this phone.
Very slowly.
That was kind of fast, but it's all good.
I'm terrible at camera stuff. That's him.
Yes. We have Miss Simone Johnson. Should I say who you're the daughter of?
If it would make your heart happy, go
What's
for
going to make your heart happy?
it. Go for it.
The daughter of Dwayne The Rock Johnson over here, Miss Simone Johnson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm very, very, very stoked to be here.
You sound so stoked.
I sound like this all the time, and it's funny because everyone who I meet will talk to me and they'll be like, no, not that. It's a habit now that I have to tell people I have to be like, I'm being sincere. I promise. I just don't sound like it.
I'm not being rude. I'm not being disrespectful.
It's bad.
I promise.
It's bad, but
Well, once you open up and you
I'm
get
being
comfortable,
sincere.
yeah, she's a freaking firecracker, and she's one of the few females I speak to on a daily basis at the PC, and she's always a fun person to talk
Thank
to.
you.
Great energy,
Thanks.
and that's why you're here. That's why you're here with the family. Not too many people come to my house.
All right, good to know.
Compared to this room, that's a damn
Except for
lie.
everyone here.
I'm like with like the other 9 people in the house.
People here.
Right.
Besides them. So, I gotta ask you, what brought you to the Performance Center? When was the first time you came to the Performance Center, actually?
The first time I came to PC was June 21st of 2018.
You got there before I did. Damn. Lord Jesus.
You old me.
The hell. So, I would ask you what was the connection to get you there, but we already know that.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm. What was your interest on getting there? Was that a forced upon you, or was that something that you always wanted to do? You wanted to like, you know what? I want to do this. I actually want to do this.
In terms of wrestling, I knew that I'd always wanted to wrestle since I was a kid, since I was like 9 or 10. And then I didn't think that I would be able to train until I was 18, but then I got the opportunity to start training at the PC once a month when I was 16. So I was like...
Was there like a
go for
little
it.
like struggle, like, she's like your age and everything, of like letting you come in and be like beat up by a whole bunch of grown-ass women? And stuff. Was there a little struggle? Because sometimes, I know in every other wrestling school in the world, they were like, not till you're 18. And it's like a stone cold rule.
Good one. I feel like I know that the biggest concern with my parents was just like not destroying my body and not just like bumping and all that. But then I don't know what changed their mind. Maybe it was just that I think they saw how passionate I was about this business and how much I loved it.
Okay. Yeah. So growing up, you grew up in. First of all, where were you born?
Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Okay.
Hollywood, Florida, to be exact.
Hollywood.
Hollywood, Florida.
Hollywood.
Hollywood swinging.
I can actually use like you two Hollywood. You acting real Hollywood. When you start acting.
Hollywood, Florida is very different than actual.
I think I might have drove through there at one point. I don't think. What's it like in Hollywood? Like compared to the other Hollywood.
Much smaller, much quieter.
Of course, I've been to the actual Hollywood, and boy, ooh, like you go on the strip.
Let's keep this show on, Swerve.
Like, hey!
He was diving into the memories like, deeper.
You went to the sunken place.
You definitely
Right to the sunken
Just pulled me into more like it. I've been to that strip Hollywood. I'm like, it is nice, and then I walked up the street and down the street. I'm like, I'm ready to go home.
Yep.
Like in the matter of minutes.
Yep.
Is Hollywood, Florida any better than that?
No.
Different? No?
No.
What's in Hollywood? Like, as far as, is it got them bad neighborhoods, or is it like just too fancy, or is it just nothing?
No, it's chill. It's just like, it's just kind of there. It's like, I feel like it would be like how you would imagine like a suburban town in an animated series to look like the outside of it. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Pleasantville.
Is it like Dimsdale and Fairly Odd Parents type stuff, or is it like more like what? What are we talking?
So like in
more Simpsons.
Yeah, like like where the Simpsons live, like just the outside area of where they live.
I'm drawing a
Like
blank. Where the Simpsons
If
live?
you could like
Springfield.
Go,
Springfield,
if you
right?
could like go into all the other neighborhoods around where the Simpsons
Shit,
live.
I didn't know either.
If you could envision what that would look like.
Dude, he over there like, I know Boondocks is in Springfield. I know where they live.
Hey, I know where Family Matters at.
You don't know what the Simpsons are? It's the Simpsons.
It's the Simpsons. How many black folks was in Simpsons? There was a doctor.
Carry on.
There was a doctor.
Carry on.
Moving on. I'm getting out, y'all. I need more water. I'm about to get wild.
No, that's our water.
Oh yeah.
You got
This is season 2, episode 4. This is the first. Well, actually, last episode I gave the guest water. This is the only time they've ever gotten water, and now they're really trying to salvage every little bit of water like it's Walking Dead. And we gotta like, oh my god.
First of all, I would just like to point out there ain't no wheat in this. I'm not trying to salvage anything.
It's
I'm
him.
drinking my water. It's
It's
decent.
these two.
It's decent.
He got a jug over there. It's me and Mike.
First off, quick cut. Teezy's haircut, real quick. I think it looks good on him.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
I had to come to Jesus. You know, I was not.
Hold on, let me get my Instagram live, people.
I
Look
was-
at Teezy's haircut.
I
You
was-
see this hair?
I've heard every joke today. I've heard Suge Knight.
Yeah, like,
I've heard. I've heard Mark Henry. Shout out to Mark. I've heard
Marshall Faulk's the best one.
Marshall Faulk, I believe, is Marshall.
That's the best one.
I've heard Rick Ross. I've heard. You know, I went to the barbershop and I said I need the Jordan, and he looked at me and he said, "You need the Jordan." I said, "Yes, my hairline is
no, he
starting
gave you the Gary Payton, bro.
to." As I was previously stating.
He gave you that Carl.
What's up, y'all? I was going to, you know, get a nice cut, and this is my hair for the foreseeable future. I am not coming back. My hairline is given up, and I am done.
You said the Michael Jordan. He gave you the Mikhail Jordan.
Yo.
Wow. Why you do my man?
Yo, he
like
gave me
that,
the
man?
Montel Jordan. So yeah.
It's more like Dontel Jones, actually.
The-
Dontel Jones and Reggie Miller.
Oh.
Combined.
Oh.
So let me ask you this.
There's gonna be a lot of head puns coming over to this man throughout this episode.
So let me ask you this as well. So you growing up, and you know, is it a struggle being the daughter of someone famous? Is that something that you internally like? Is that something you feel is pressure on you, or something that you just with your parents you never really noticed it?
I think it's a combination of both because I feel like when I was a kid, I went to the same school my whole life. Like from kindergarten all the way up until I graduated. Well, all the way up until I graduated. And I feel like that was such a bubble that I didn't really feel it. But then when I really started to feel it when I started wrestling and when I started training, and I still struggle with that pressure like almost every day. But I just have to remind myself like that pressure only exists when I start comparing myself to people. When I start comparing myself to my parents. And I was actually talking to a friend of mine about this a couple weeks ago, and it was just this idea that I want to keep getting into my head is that I'm not my parents. No one is their parents, and individuality is a gift. And I just have to keep reminding myself of that no matter what pressure, no matter what circumstances, no matter what comparisons are, I love my parents so much. I'm so proud of everything that they've done, but I am my own person, and I just have to remind myself of that no matter what the circumstances are.
So do you ever as your dad ever just have a conversation with you about that? Or you ever opened up to your dad about that? Any advice he's given you on that as well with your coming up?
Because he had the same.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he had
exactly.
the same thing when he was
Right,
a kid.
when he was growing up,
Yeah,
right?
he
Yeah.
had the same thing, especially when he started wrestling, and he basically just told me what I said, like, you are your own person, regardless of if other people compare you to your parents or to anyone else, or if you compare yourself to your parents or anyone else, you are still your own person. And I always say, the best gift and you find your most power in individuality, and I think that's super important.
Absolutely.
You ever getting that that good treatment in school because of that though? Them perks? Was that ever thrown your way?
No.
Come on now.
No.
No?
No.
Shoot. I'd have been like, where did my daddy get here about this? I'd have been one of them guys. I would have been one of them kids. I was bad though. So.
Pizza Friday? Oh, I'm in line first.
Right.
I am not. We're not doing this alphabetical order.
Right. I don't care. Jay's in the back. Nah, Jay's in the front.
J and L. We're like in the middle.
No,
That's in the middle. That's in the middle.
No, J, like, the alphabet start with J.
Yeah.
I'm going
Start
first.
with, starts with J.
Yeah.
Then A. To, you know.
Yeah, then we go A.
I always try to give him the lineup by first name. Ariel's
Jeez.
always in
Never. That never.
Yeah.
Were you always the line leader growing up? I feel like you were always the line leader when you were a kid.
Well, no, not necessarily. I was the person who befriended the line leader so that I wouldn't get in trouble.
Smart.
Yeah. Or I always dated the higher ups or the red ropes or whoever was in charge of everybody else so that when I did my dirt, I wouldn't get in trouble.
And
And anybody
did
else
you
was
do it?
associated.
Wise words.
And didn't you do it?
I did.
You did that dirt,
I
preacher's
did.
child.
I did.
Who's worse, the preacher's child or the fame child? Not saying you're bad, because there are those out there.
Great.
Oh, who's
Yes.
worse?
Yes. What would you say is like?
I feel like
who's the one that gets the worst
the
rap?
fame child would be worse because
The-
everything that like all the attention's on them
True.
rather than like the preacher. I feel like the preacher
But-
child could be
Right.
more like sneaky. I mean, I don't know. Ask her.
I mean, I was pretty sneaky. I mean, that and, I mean, also, my dad, he was the lawyer for our county, essentially, for, like, a parent advocate. So when he came to schools, the principal always knew that, oh, something's been wrong in my school, and he's here to fix it, but he's on the parent side and not the school side. So they would always get nervous every time my parents used to come into the school. So I was just like, do whatever I want.
Preacher child. And I met your daddy too. He was a good dude.
Oh, yeah,
See-
I love
you
that.
seem like you don't put up with nothing.
You don't. You don't
You
put
don't?
up with nothing.
How'd you get away with it?
Hmm?
How'd you get away with it?
Jesus. You ain't gonna-
You used a weapon against him. See, look at you.
Look at that.
Lord help me. But he helped me get through a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, I just so recently came out to everything that I pretty much, almost everything I did wrong. Already. Because I know that right now I won't get a whooping.
Actually, you know, this brings a thought to my head, and I actually want to
That head.
bring.
Indeed.
Y'all, we going off live, y'all. I'll holler at y'all, man. You know,
What a head.
So what advice actually would you being the wrestler now? Like, would you give her? Like, as someone
Being a
comes
woman
out,
in wrestling.
being a woman in
And a
wrestling.
woman of color.
And a woman.
Woman.
Ah, I'm glad you said that.
Yes, and a woman.
Speak the truth.
Yeah.
Sisters.
Yeah.
Sister Soul.
Ha! Move on up.
Huh.
Imumbe!
Whoa, what is it good for?
Tell them what your name is.
Who you are.
This is just 20 minutes in.
A mess.
We didn't even hit 20 yet.
Haven't.
In all actuality, when you were speaking on individuality, that's key. Really, just knowing yourself. Because really being in this business, there's been some times where people either have said some things that I didn't like, or they've shared some things, or I've been in a situation where I haven't been booked because of the color of my skin, or they'll be like, oh, I thought you can do this for a lesser rate because your husband is Cedric. You know, that's happened to me before. So I would just say, like, keep your head up. Don't plateau. You keep giving them anything and everything that you got, because, like I like to say, folks can't make their next move until I make mine.
That's
A
good.
lot of people
Right.
wait.
You know,
A lot of
like,
people
just-
wait for that move to be made.
Yeah.
too,
Right,
and
yeah,
then go off
like,
of that.
really, if you just, like, stay
Play
ready,
the cards right.
stay ready, you won't have to get ready.
What would you say is your
Stay on their
biggest?
necks.
What would you say is your biggest like fear
In terms of
in like learning this craft, this art, this business, this industry?
I just feel like never meeting expectations that I have on myself. I think that would probably be the biggest one. And also, like, I don't want to, just like not living up to the legacy, but then when I think about that, I also feel like that's, in a way, comparing myself.
Yeah.
So I feel like probably just never falling into that trap of comparing myself. I think that would be
I feel like that was something I would struggle with, and like, because like for me, I didn't have like a legacy to live up to. I'm like the first person to ever do anything even close to this type of thing.
Me too.
All right, so we don't have a legacy. We kind of start our own. So I feel like for you, or personally, if I was in your situation, I would struggle with that daily. daily on everything that I do. Like, not just in wrestling, like on every aspects of life. You know, like, you have to live up to how you present yourself on the street. You gotta live up to how you like walk, dress, how you speak, because everybody sees you as what they perceive you as, or who came before you and all that. I feel like that's an anxiety. That would be an anxiety for me that I would struggle with. Do you think that's something that you still that you do?
Yeah,
or ever have before?
I think that it is, but I also feel like when I look at myself, I look at myself as obviously as my parents' child, but I also just I look at myself as me. So I don't know how to say it. I feel like
it's like it's
Go ahead.
kind of like everyone always sees like different versions of you.
exactly.
Like, you know, like I see a version of like Shane that, you know, his mother's gonna see a different version of it. I see a version of Swerve that his mama's gonna like see a different version of Swerve, and like really she's just worrying about how she sees herself. Not about how she's perceived with anybody else or whose child she is or what's her status. She's just looking at I'm Simone, this is who I am, this is who I'm going to be, and my life isn't planned out based off of my genealogy or my DNA. It's about what she does.
And I feel like in terms of what you were talking about, people are always going to see me how they want to see me. But even going back to what you said, like, no one can make their next move until you make yours. So, like, if people are going to think about me a certain way or have, like, opinions or biases or whatever it is, there's nothing that I can do to control it. I can just, like, look at myself in the mirror and be like, this is how I present
That's
myself.
also the disadvantage of growing up in this digital age where everybody has a comment.
That's
like,
true. Well,
yeah,
that's very
so you're
true.
coming up in this age, like we're 90s, 80s babies over here. Like, we didn't have that. We didn't get that till we were like 20s. Like mid to late 20s, we started getting comments and like challenges, bottle cap challenge, and stupid crap like that. So, like, I feel like now is like the hardest age to grow up in because there's eyes everywhere.
I think so too, and also
there's judgment everywhere
even
for
like
what you're doing too.
I see now like kids who are kids who are younger than me, like all the kids in like middle school now. Like I have a cousin and I'm close to him. He's 12, and like I look at him and I look at all of his friends and I'm like, I can't imagine, because even when I was their age, like, it was just when Snapchat got popular, just when Instagram got popular, and I feel like now having everything and having everything be so popular, like, I can't imagine what it would be like to be going to have all those pressures and then just constantly be comparing yourself to everyone else, but, like,
and you got like,
for what?
imagine what's going to be like
cost?
10 years from now.
Exactly.
That's what's, it's only going to get worse.
Exactly.
So we got to pull back a little bit, but I don't think this stuff's going to happen because of this, but so like just like seeing, especially like seeing what have you been seeing like the stuff online about like the people licking the ice cream and putting it back in the freezer?
I eat my ice cream from the bottom now.
Like
Yep. Dairy Queen.
Yeah, they're like
get you some briars.
They're like
like
how much do we need attention and validation for everything we do, like, or just we're just seeking
Validation and instant gratification.
Yes.
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification, and all that equals to now younger people success and money. The old days of I want to be a senator, a lawyer, a doctor, that doesn't apply.
I want to be a YouTuber.
Right, I want to be a YouTuber. I want that fast
I want to be
money.
an influencer.
Right,
Can you do that
influencer.
and people are trying to do this for 20 years.
You can, but then also with those type of careers, I feel like with YouTube it's different, but with people who are influencers, or if they get famous on Instagram or Twitter or even like TikTok now or Musical.ly, like those careers, they don't have. I feel like they don't have any longevity to them, because it's just, it was one trend that you marketed, and then you built something around that. But then what's going to happen when the next trend comes up and the next viral thing is just going, and you can't really market that. Right. You can't market it successfully. I feel
it's almost like the way wrestling is in a way too. Like the style is just always advancing, and always the athleticism getting even more and more ridiculous and more risky, and the people are loving it more. And so like you see the views going up, you see the attention that they get, and they get put on the spot so fast, and everybody's on this race to try to get more and more attention, and you can't do that for like 3-4 years. You can't do that. Like, what's the
That's
next
why
step?
there's so many injuries popping
There's
up.
so many injuries.
So many injuries. Everybody's going through this like super fast. Like, wait a minute, brother, it's a marathon.
It is.
Like,
Yeah.
slow down.
Like, we don't think about the marathon. We think about like this person getting an opportunity on this big show. We
Right.
see like this person, like I didn't know who he was, and now all of a sudden, boom, he's booked on this. What? I didn't see where he came from, but he did this one cool thing, and then like we have a snake pushkin over here.
I thought I was trying to be quiet this whole time.
All we hear is
Ladies and gentlemen, one of my arch nemesis is over here. Martin
Crawling
Cross.
on the floor because I thought I was supposed to be quiet this whole time.
Who let you in here?
She did.
he's on the floor.
On the floor. Get it on the floor.
Twitching.
Get it. And there he is, looking at the camera. Hey.
Oh, hi. You're on my feed and I'm on your feed. So, sweet. This exclusive
Somebody said they
house.
thought you were Hornswoggle.
Oh, wow. I make him look good. Paint me like one of your French girls.
So is it about time to cut the feed?
And I, is that
Yeah, it's about time. Yeah.
About time to cut the feed.
Yes.
We are cutting our
that? Are we cutting it?
Yeah, we're
All
cutting
right.
cut the feed. You gotta watch the rest on Swerve City Podcast on YouTube.
Swerve City Podcast.
Coming out next Monday.
Next Monday. Bing.
Got him.
See, I just show up and everyone just cuts the feeds.
Oh no, we still you can still. Oh, look at you. Oh, yeah.
I thought I was supposed to be quiet that whole time. So I'm just calling her, hiding.
Man, this is my show. We can do whatever we want. Just don't curse.
Except drink water. You can't drink water.
No, that's my staff. That's for the working class. Going forward.
We're at the bottom of the Titanic.
What you playing, brother?
This is my ghetto phone. Y'all, this Metro. Don't y'all ain't used to that. This is broke people phone over here.
Broke phones.
Or they ain't got
Moving on. So we got to continue this discussion. So now we got to get into the
So let's get into good stuff.
goodness.
Do it.
Let's get into good
Do it.
stuff. Well,
Yes.
So who on your music playlist? Like what we talking about? Who when you driving in the car?
And then
So recently, I've been super into reggaeton music and super into like Bad Bunny and all that. I don't know if y'all listen to that. You into that?
Bad Bunny.
Get y'all into that.
I don't do the Bad Bunnies. That's some Florida people though, right? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
So that's Miami.
See, all right. We gotta keep in mind, people at home, born in 2001 here. So, music.
But okay, all right. But we talked about this earlier.
We talked about it, but they don't know.
I got your credit, dog. Don't worry.
No,
Thank you.
2001 here. You missed out on the Bow Wow era. You missed out on the Harlem Shaking. You missed out on the Soulja Boys, man.
I did not miss out on
Yeah, but he's making sure. Hey,
got
but listen, he's gonna make sure you know about Little Sky. Make sure you know that.
No.
Little Skies, I'm bumping
My
them.
senior quote was
Check it
almost a Soulja Boy quote. It was. It literally was. It was. So,
Drake!
it was about to be. What was it? It was my friend told me. It was. In life you get two choices. Either you crank that or life cranks you. That was gonna be my senior quote.
Philosopher. Oh,
Philosopher.
Philosopher Draco. How do we ever discredit him? Oh my.
So coming up in like high school.
What is this?
He said,
Swerve.
disregard what she just said.
So coming up in like
Cranking.
coming up in high school, who was like popping? Who was like? Because we had, you said like T-Pain. We had Usher.
But I feel like y'all had good stuff.
We had the G's. We had the guys that said. We had the Waynes. We had the 50s.
We had
Kanye.
We had like
Lupe.
who? I don't even know. Like,
Yeah. Like who was like everybody like?
what's that one guy's name? I'm gonna pronounce it wrong. XX Tentacion, the one who passed away.
Okay.
I tell you what, I don't know not name.
I listened to that album. It was actually good.
Kodak Black. Yeah, like all of that.
Well, that's the Florida guys.
But still, not even like all of that. That was like.
Y'all had Migos. That was y'all. That was y'all come up.
Migos.
There's someone else.
Future,
There's someone else that I'm forgetting too.
Young Thugs.
Denzel
Yeah,
Curry.
that's good.
Denzel Curry.
There's
That's like
There's
2015,
someone else that I'm
14.
forgetting too.
2015, 14, Denzel. Yeah, he's a Florida dude too.
Who
Yeah.
them dudes that did Black Beatles?
Oh, it's Ray Sherman.
Ray Sherman.
Him.
Yeah.
I messed with old Sway Lee though. Sway Lee hard.
Yeah, Sway Lee.
Sway Lee's hard. So yeah, Black Beatles. Who else was coming out in that like? All right, so when you was like 8, 9,
When
10.
I was like 8?
Yeah. Who was like, you turn on the TV, the radio, that's who you were hearing. Who was that?
Soulja
I
Boy.
vividly remember when I was 10, that was when Call Me Maybe came out. Or it might have been when I was
I hate that
9.
song.
Yeah, that was like,
Don't do this.
I vividly remember that.
Mine.
Okay.
I'm like, ooh.
Chocolate.
God, I have to definitely Flow Rider, and I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't know.
I want to know who's
artist.
y'all generation's GOAT. Who's y'all
I feel
generation?
like that would depend
Who's
because
who's
I feel like in terms of pop music, a lot of people would be like, oh, Ariana
All right,
Grande.
we'll go genre by genre.
Okay, grind.
Band rock band. This is overall metal, rock, alternative, whatever. Who's that
Overall
GOAT? For the rock genre. Who's their GOAT in your generation?
For alternative, I feel like it would be like probably Fall Out Boy.
I can see that.
Or maybe,
Fall Out
or
Boy
Panic
is-
at the Disco.
Panic at Disco.
Really?
Panic is great.
That's not alternative.
Panic at Disco is just
I
dope.
Right Since Not Tragedy. Still
Yeah.
played.
Really? Panic at the
I
Disco?
think
Panic
so.
at Disco, yeah.
Or it would
Not
be
My
between
Chemical
them.
Romance or none of them?
That's early. I feel like
That's
that's,
a
a little
little-
bit.
that's
That's
earlier?
That's a little. That's
They
like,
still play them songs.
But that's like emo.
I know,
emo.
but
that's
that's
like
like-
deep emo.
My
Okay.
Chemical Romance is synonymous with Green Day.
Exactly.
So,
They the
that's-
Smashing Pumpkins, they Red Revolver, they all them. They all one. That's the same band. Good Charlotte,
Breaking Benjamin.
Breaking Bad, yeah, all of them. That's the same band.
Breaking Benjamin
Limp
is
Bizkit,
good,
all
man.
of them.
Diary of Jane.
Diary of Jane is
Yeah.
We're here. All right.
It's the same band.
Okay.
It's the same
Yeah.
band.
Did you know they're on tour?
They are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're on tour with Dorothy.
What's the dude from Aerosmith? Steve Tyler, right? Right.
What does that have to do? I see you going way back. I don't think anybody in here is
I'm over here
that.
We
like,
said Breaking Benjamin, and you're like,
No, we had
Aerosmith.
No, we had this.
Whoa.
I know what you're doing.
You know where I'm going.
I know
You
where
know
you're
where I'm
going.
going.
I know where
We
you're
had
going.
the same
I know where
discussion.
you're going.
Season
Okay,
1.
so where are you going?
Where are we
Okay.
going? That's
No,
it.
I need his help on this one because he
Okay.
remembers the conversation more vividly than I
Okay,
do.
so we had this conversation.
We
was
angered
on
a lot of white
PlayStation.
people in it too. So
Oh,
This
yeah,
PlayStation,
here we go.
right? Marty, maybe you can chime in and help us out.
Yeah, Marty, come on, come here. Grab the chair. Come over here. You get right in there.
Okay, so we
Take
was,
that
on,
chair.
we was on PlayStation. We talk music all the time. This is what me and him do. We go on PlayStation, we talk music. We had this thing, we was like, why do these people like, they all like the same
They're all the same like
person.
The
Yeah.
In
band.
terms of like Good Charlotte, like Breaking Benjamin.
Sum 41.
Wait, like,
Same
what,
thing
what
as
stands out?
like Green Day.
I don't know because
Because we don't have that ear. We're more the hip hop ear, so we understand
but
it.
even I like rock and metal, but it's like either 80s rock or it's like Slipknot. There's like no in between.
Hey, it's
That's
like
a whole-
corn though. For real though.
Slipknot is cool.
Kill Switch Engage.
So like, what would be the difference? Like, so, like, if somebody like,
Yeah.
Dead
The only one I can think, the only one out of that genre, like the Disturbs, the Mudvaynes, and all them guys, I can actually.
Disturbed is good.
Disturbed
Disturbed is good, but I can like
Very good.
distinctively like stood out of all them groups, especially remember early 2000s. Everybody sounded like that. Was Linkin Park. That's the only group I can say like
Chester.
actually
Yeah, for real though.
stood out outside of that whole group.
But there was an argument they were like a monotone Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
I say Papa Roach.
So
Yeah.
Papa Roach, like
Yeah.
Limp Bizkit.
I also feel like out of that group, I'm not trying to sound biased, but I feel like Slipknot has had the most longevity.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Metallica,
And
they probably
and
have
I
been too.
feel like if Chester was still alive today, I feel like Linkin Park could still have that longevity. But
Laughing at me, what?
Giggles over there.
Yeah.
Giggles me.
No, but she's talking about like early 2000, like.
I know.
Like, grunge, but you told like, yeah, Metallica be over there too. Like,
that is a
Guess what?
different. But,
You lost a pint of water.
But in terms of longevity, you're right.
No, you can tell how much
Yeah.
we know.
That's what I'm saying. We don't have the ear for it.
I just don't like. Okay, help me out. Help me out.
Like that's like at Marty. Who won best hip hop artist this year?
I don't know.
Exactly. Like, we don't.
So it's like a culture thing. We talk like cultures and
Yeah,
like
it's
growing up,
culture.
and how like with our demographic, it's like it tends more to the R&B, hip hop side, and with some people of different cultures, it might go to the alternative rock, and it also kind of just like how you grew up.
Backstreet Boys.
Yes.
So help me out. Like if I'm looking at
People
like
will listen to Backstreet Boys
people,
now.
I've heard people like argue like no, AC/DC is better than Metallica because so and so and so and so, and I'll be lost.
See, that's so like I like both, but
Yeah,
that's
I
so
like
like
both.
in depth. I couldn't.
But like I'll be
But I
lost.
think, to me, after I saw the movie Queen, the Bohemian Rhapsody, I thought Queen was the greatest band of all time. Like, that's just me. That's just me. Because I'm like, oh, I know that song. I remember that song.
Yeah.
That was them. Oh, that was cool. They had a lot of hits. Man, they do like.
A Queen been bad though.
Yeah, they've been saying, but
bad.
this is
Like-
me outside of the culture. I didn't grow up on them. So me looking at the movie, looking at all the information, they're giving me all the hits that I'm just like,
You didn't
oh,
grow
I
up on
was
this either?
I was listening to Cameron and Outkast.
I grew up listening to alternative music and rock, but the same way me and him will argue who's lyrically better between Nas and J. Cole.
Would he
like-
decide
The
that? Would he
same
know
way
that?
like so and so's a better bassist, so and so's a better bassist than so and so, or so and so's a better
Comparing
guitar
it to
player than so
Right.
and so.
Like,
And I wouldn't know the difference.
that's like, is Common a better lyricist than freaking Lupe?
Yeah, and we would argue
know.
that, and we would
argue, but you
we
would
would
know.
argue, but you would
Would
know.
you know?
Smile and nod. I have no idea.
Right,
No,
but somebody
just
would be
feel like,
like,
I pick
hey,
It's
yo,
all
like,
biased anyway. It's all your opinion. Your opinion, mate. It's the same as his opinion. It's all opinion. Oh,
But-
who's the best lyricist and what?
But that's just like our culture. We would know that. We would have that ear because we grew up on that. But like for your culture, what did you grow up on? You grew up on listening to like what?
Backstreet Boys, Spice Girls.
Okay.
But I
What's
grew up
another-
on the
what's another
Backstreet
boy
Boys
band?
and
What's
Sync
another
Debate.
boy band?
I grew up on that.
Insane.
So I know about that.
98 degrees.
Yeah.
98 degrees.
See, I grew up
All
on
them
I
is
know
the
about
same
that.
people. It's the same people. Jessica Simpson married all of them. That is the same person. Us black folks took one person from the three groups and it's Justin Timberlake. That's all I know. The rest is history. Pharrell was like,
He ain't just
him.
back.
But then it's
Justin went back. We gave him back.
Like,
I grew up listening to like so many different things. But
Sorry,
I
what did you
went back to like
You had it, yeah.
90s and 80s and all of that.
See, my little sister, she knew certain like actors. She just thought they were actors. She didn't know Common was a rapper because she grew up. She's literally the same age, born the same year as you. So she
grew up in a different part of his career.
right. She knows like certain rappers like T.I. Oh, he does those movies, right? Or Ice Cube.
Ice Cube, yeah.
Yeah.
Does those movies. Like, you know, Ice Cube was one of like the most founding fathers of gangster rap, right?
Right.
What? The dude that does Are We There Yet? What? No.
Yeah.
But that's the culture that she grew up in. She doesn't know that. It's the same way we're outside looking in on like bands and stuff. To me, every lead singer of every band is Steve Tyler. In the 80s. AC/DC, Steve Tyler. Motley Crue, Steve Tyler.
No.
And Machine Gun Kelly.
Don't insult my machine.
No, I want to give a big shout out.
Back in Black. Oh, Guns N' Roses sings that, right?
Just burying your.
You know what?
Burying yourself here.
I just thought it was Alice Cooper is supposed to be at that SuperCon. That's who it was.
I would ask him straight to your
Interview him.
face.
Poison.
I was asking
Poison.
straight to Poison.
Poison.
Oh,
Alice Cooper.
boy, I was like, hey, yeah, White Stripes, yeah, Steel Dragon.
Not the White
Hey.
Stripes. No, he's
Yeah.
not Jay.
Salvation Army, yeah.
Don't do John
I would look him straight in the eye. I would, and I'm cool with Nita Strauss, who does guitar for him. Yeah, she's amazing.
Love
I'm
her.
cool with her. She's great. I would have told her straight in the face too. I'm like, man, I love you going on tour with freaking Death Clock over there. Yeah.
Shout out to the new band Death Clock. Death Clock. I go see him. They sound like
Hey, so we're gonna do the instruments. You can sing lead. You can sing lead.
Yeah,
All right, read that part.
Steel Dragon. Yeah, I love them guys.
Steel Dragon.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah, I thought like that. When I watched what was it? Rockstar with what's his name? Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg?
I thought that was a real band.
Bro. You sound like a fool to think 5 heartbeats is real. Oh, Lord.
Death
Bro.
He said Robert Thomas is in that. He had a group.
I swear to God. But that's just the culture we grow up in. I think like we don't have the ear for that. Like I don't. And we always argue this all the time. I'm like, we know, like for hip hop, and you always make the statement that hip hop is still the earliest genre of music. It's still the youngest.
Yes.
So it still hasn't reached like adolescence.
Born in
yet.
'76, so it's very young.
It's still very young. Everything else after that or before it goes before that. Everything like rock's evolved, but it's still rock in genre. Hip hop has always been hip hop. We can kind of go with blues. We can kind of go with jazz, but hip hop is still just hip hop in its own. It's always separated.
Yeah.
you know, and it always gets the most criticism as well because we ignorant sometimes. Hip hop can get really ignorant, and I'm tired of defending it sometimes because it's really ignorant. But if Aerosmith and Steven Tyler and all them get back on stage, guess what? They're gonna sell out every stadium. Hip
So
hop.
will Death Clock.
Death Clock, man.
New album coming soon,
Bro, you do a commercial
I'm on
with
guitar,
you do a commercial with Death Clock. You put a fake metal like tribal symbol with some horns and devils and stuff posted on paper. That joint gonna sell out.
Death Clock.
That's gonna sell out amphitheater. And that ain't that gonna sell out amphitheater. Ain't that gonna sell out amphitheater.
Yeah, bro.
You know how many rappers I've seen slinging posters and mixtapes out of their trunks and get 50 people to show up? Who been rapping for 10 years?
Nah, 40
years?
No.
Go to a KRS-One concert
No.
tomorrow.
No,
See what happens.
No. This is not 50 people to show up. This is 40 other rappers
Yeah.
on the call. That's performing with them. I've been there. I've seen
That's
it.
right.
Trust me. I know.
Right.
It's like, 40 other rappers all on stage grilling.
Ozzy Osbourne can dust off them boots and get right back on stage. He's gonna sell out Madison Square Garden.
Go ahead and rap your 5 minutes, bro.
Nas-
Get your 5 minutes in.
Nas can't fill out can't fill out.
It's good.
Full sale.
This is going to be a test. This is going to be a
Wow.
test.
Wow.
See my man.
I'm comparing Full Sail to
Full
Madison
Sail.
Square Garden.
That's okay.
Come
Why
on.
you gotta disrespect Full Sail
Come
like
on.
that though?
That's not disrespectful. That's not disrespectful. Full Sail to Madison Square Garden. Do we see the obvious?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
But what's the point that you're trying to make?
Preach, sister.
The point is,
I'm with him, man. I'm just
the point is that like our genre is so hard. Like the attention span to our genre for hip hop fans is going quickly. It's just like
But it's
social
because
media.
I feel like there's such a difference between hip hop now, because you look at someone like Nas and then you look at someone like, who's the dude?
Nas looks a million times better than half these rap
I know,
stars.
but then you look. But I feel like people who are my age and younger, when they think of hip hop, they wouldn't necessarily even think of Nas. They would think of like
Who
the
do you
dude,
think
the
of
dude,
hip-hop
the
now?
dude
Who-
who sings.
when you hear hip-hop-
Gucci Gang.
That's not.
Well,
That-
they think
that's-
of him. That's not who
that's-
that's not who I think of. But I know that's
Lil
what
Pump.
the majority.
Is that what
Him,
it
that
is?
dude. That's
Pump.
Lil Pump. Like
There's so many
That's the
Lils
majority.
out there.
But like, okay,
Yeah.
so that's
Football
that's.
is Lil Bow Wow.
But do you think that's your age group and that's your generation? Like because like when I grew up, when I heard hip hop, I think of Kanye. I think of like Common. I think of Jay-Z.
That's what
I think
I
of
would
DMX,
think of.
right?
That's what I would think of. Yeah.
But this generation, they go to Lil Pump. They
Yeah.
go to freaking XXX. They go to 6ix9ine. They go to these guys.
Kodak. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Do you think that's a generational thing? Like I said, hip hop is still
Bless your heart.
like y'all had
I
it bad,
think-
baby. Oh,
I-
we gonna cure this one day. I swear.
Okay, but I.
I'm the man video
So-
coming out
Coming
very
out,
soon.
coming out, SummerSlam
Video
weekend.
shoot.
There you go, brother.
SummerSlam weekend.
Yeah.
Let's plug that.
I also,
Jesus.
I think that so technically I'm Gen Z. And there's anyone born after 1997 is considered Gen Z. But I feel like,
Never heard that term.
hear me out.
I'm too old.
Is it Gen X and then Z?
It's X millennial and then Gen Z. So
Y'all past millennial?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what? Okay, but okay. All right, but this
Millennial is like
from 88.
I'm 89.
88. This is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say is that
95.
everyone.
I'm the oldest one here.
I feel like, or at least with my friends, that I feel like people born between 1997 and 2001 are like a weird combination of a hybrid between a millennial and Gen Z, because we still are technically like 90s kids. We grew up with a lot of 90s shows, music, all that, but then we were also here for the first iPhone, for when everyone started having computers in classrooms and iPads and stuff like that. So I feel
Y'all got TVs in your bedroom. We weren't allowed to have that when we was
Exactly.
kids.
Okay, can I ask
Exactly
you, I'm
what-
sorry. Can I ask you a question? I just
Yes.
have to ask this
Yes.
question. This is very dumb.
Yes.
Not that. Did y'all, when you was in school, did they have the little TV on the rolly black thing and they pulled it out?
Yes,
with a
yes,
frame?
but, yes,
Okay, y'all say that still happens.
But
Okay,
for
that's
my,
still.
for my for my graduating class of 2019, but then even the generation, not the generation, just class of 2018, the people who are a year younger than me,
Mhm.
and even 2 years younger, I feel like there's such a big difference.
Just that 2 years.
Even even just a year, because when you mentioned the rolling TVs, I remember having that. But then if you were to ask my friend who's a year younger than me, if I were to ask her, she would probably say no. And it's because it was like right at that time that the shift came in technology. So I feel like that also ties into the difference of thinking of like
put your head down on
Jay-Z
the
and hip hop,
desk,
and then
gum
like
under the damn
XX or something.
Yeah. I'll say because my high school.
Did y'all have chalkboards?
Textbooks.
I did. Our
Yeah,
class of 2019 did, but then if you ask someone who's younger, who's a year younger, 2 years younger,
They never had
they
chalkboard.
would probably say no.
Markers, just
Exactly.
whiteboards, right?
The smart board.
Whiteboards, yeah. The smart board.
Uh-huh.
What's the smart board?
Listen, you ain't have the smart board?
No.
I didn't. Everything was chalk.
2007.
Everything was
2007 graduated. 2007.
I graduated in 2007 and I had the smart board.
I'm 06.
What's the smart board?
Oh, never mind. My school was in Florida. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
My bad.
Oh, my school was in Florida too.
Lakewood, California. You get no smart board? Hold on.
What's the smart? But they had like.
Was it Pinellas?
I'm
Oh,
lost.
What's the
It's
smart
like-
board?
it's
Isn't that clear one?
It's basically a whiteboard, but it's like digital.
Digital. And you got the
Digital.
little
You
pen
got
and stuff
little
like that.
markers.
Little yellow.
I'm used to the overhead with the marker.
Right, yeah. What is that Tony Stark technology they put in schools now? What is this?
But that just goes back to my point
Like
that
it's
like
interactive.
I remember the first time that we had a smart board in our classroom, but then if you were to ask someone who was 2 years younger, 3 years younger than me, that they wouldn't. That was all they would know.
I've never heard of
Did you guys do away with textbooks too?
Our
It's on
like
pad?
our class was like the last
We
one
got like
to
it's
have.
like an iPad
textbooks.
is on the textbooks. And
Yeah,
it's on
because
the
now
iPad.
everyone.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh,
now it's
y'all
all
don't-
digital. Now it's all digital. I
I'm
remember
done.
having
Digital.
textbooks. I had
I'm done.
textbooks probably up until
I'm done.
my freshman year of high school.
I had to carry 6 books.
Would you trust me
upstairs.
with iPad at 16?
Yeah, you have to sign it out and everything like they just like they're like, oh hey, sign up the children. You have to sign it out and then it's yours and
I
then
gotta ask my child
your-
what's going on in school.
Ask, yeah.
I mean, technology crazy.
She would know what a smart board was. She'll know what a smart board
Good
is.
Lord, I just feel like my whole life just crashed, bro.
Let's talk about music. How did we get
How
here?
did we get the smart board?
I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for the future.
I'm not ready for this
I'm not
either.
ready
This
for
got
it.
me lost over here. I gotta literally go in the classroom and see this because I have no idea.
I'm literally.
I'm gonna pull it up.
I'm gonna go to like career day and just sit in the back like.
I want to be an influencer.
Speaking of technology,
So I'm used to, you
guys
grab
You
the
see the new Chucky? Hold on,
notepad.
Yes.
He's
the new Chucky's all about that new technology. And then I
Is
saw
that technological doll?
technological.
Yeah,
Yeah, it links up to your,
Okay,
your
okay.
Bluetooth on everything.
Okay, everybody.
Your TV.
Smart boards, $1,300.
Sound about right.
Yeah,
Real
$1,300.
smart, but real
Sound
smart.
about right. We had a whole
Yeah,
bunch
this
of
one being in Spanish to
Spanish class, math class, also. We're like,
Did they
you
erase
know,
themselves?
piano.
This one's
And you'd all
$4,000.
sit on the floor and
Like
stare at it.
like trying to get the light right.
Oh,
Yo.
But one thing I
And
always
remember
heard in
that
school
like little
is
game that you'd have to play on it?
Yeah.
Like, you have to like calibrate it with the little
Like,
red X.
yeah,
Like,
like,
You guys ever hear that?
Yeah, that was growing up. That was what they always preached to us.
What?
Say again?
Yeah. So when you're when we were growing up, you need to learn math because you'll never have a calculator in your pocket.
Lies.
Lies.
Yeah, there's
Lies.
Have you ever heard that in school?
I have, but
Yeah.
up until like 3rd grade, and then that was it.
And then that
I was
stops.
like, yeah.
I wonder what they told.
Calculator in your pocket.
I wonder what they told kids in China. Like, ugh, you need to learn math because they will never have one of these.
Arithmetic.
Yeah, in your pocket.
Get that arithmetic.
I'm so lost.
Like, I got this TI-89 in my pocket.
We just asked what was in your playlist. That's all we wanted to
But
know.
how do we start talking about smart boards?
Because I wanted to know who was like post 2000 was in your playlist. But yeah, anything to add on top of that?
Yeah.
Sir?
So, I'm just gotta promote myself for a minute because I don't really get to do that very much. So listen, I don't do it very much. So, me and you have a connection in a different way. I've made music for about 9 of your family members. Theme songs. About 9 of your family members. Lance, NOIE, Alpha Jr. made his. LA Smooth.
Yeah, LA Smooth.
LA Smooth. I mean, Alpha, Sika, you name it.
Yeah.
I've made music for a bunch of those promotions, WXW, things like that. So when I heard that you were coming on, I was like, you know what? That's pretty damn dope. Seeing that people can connect in different ways because I didn't really get to haven't really a chance to meet the other side. I met your grandfather, met him very briefly, and also, I never had a chance to meet your father, but just meeting that side of the family, I just want to also commend you that you guys have a wonderful family.
Thank you.
So I want to bring as well, like, tell me a little bit about the uniqueness and the tightness of your guys' family. It seems like you guys link together no matter what. Everybody
Them
represents
family
everybody.
reunions got to be huge.
I've never been to one of our family reunions.
Whoa, really?
I know.
You just came from Hawaii, didn't you?
Yeah, so my one of my dad's cousins got married.
Oh, okay. So that's that side of the family. That's
Yes.
not what you were connected with, right?
Right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
continue.
Repeat your question, because I.
So like, how close like do you like just me seeing it? The reason why I brought that up is just me experiencing it, and me having an opportunity to hang out with that side of the family, go to a lot of receptions and stuff like that. I see the bond that the whole family has. Like, tell me a little bit about the tightness and uniqueness that you guys have as a family. Because every time I see pictures, all y'all together and connections and things of that nature.
I feel like I know that in Polynesian culture, like family is the biggest thing, especially in Samoan culture. Like family is everything. Like that's even me. Like my cousins who I've grown up with on my Polynesian side, like they were my first best friends. They still are my best friends. So I think just in Polynesian culture, you see the importance of family and how like when one person succeeds, everyone succeeds. If that makes sense.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That question was along your hairline, bro.
What hairline? It's gone. It's bald.
Just let you.
Oh, trust me, episode 5, all y'all getting it. I'm gonna have some
Can
all
I
y'all.
be here? Can I just sit in the corner?
Yeah,
I would just be like,
Everybody that comes on the show is always welcome
See,
back.
I quit.
Arkansas.
I need a week. I'm playing.
It's like 2
I'll be
weeks.
back.
2 weeks. I'm gonna come meanest material. I'm like, woo!
Ooh, this way. Ooh, this way. Oh, I got something. I got something.
Oh, but they got crap back. I got this back. I got this dog.
Yeah. You say you're getting us all, but guess what y'all not getting?
Water.
Water.
Mike, you ready?
Bring Gatorade
Shoot,
next
man.
time.
I know, right?
So one
But it's
bottle of
mine.
Gatorade.
Now that's on the straw.
Speaking of water, I gotta get a little sip. Hey, I ain't gonna take it all, Mike. Don't worry about it.
That's it. And you know what? I'm not even gonna put it in the refrigerator. I'm gonna have to it's gonna be room
That's right there.
Whole privileges too. Oh Lord.
And I don't know why Mike complained about water. He brings his jug every time.
Does no one drink the tap water here?
It's definitely weird. It's all everybody that's like all the
Tap
family.
water.
Everybody all the family that's visited that come down here, they drink the tap water. They're like
Tap water.
instantly. They're like
It's Everglades tap water. That's fine.
Explain.
Well, we're not very close to the Everglades up here.
What is Everglades like the
The big national park where all the gators live.
Right.
It's probably
You
like
drinking gator
it's
water?
probably like a portal to hell,
Gator
to be honest. The Everglades are definitely a portal to hell.
Listen, understand something.
The Everglades are definitely a portal to hell.
We are at the bottom of all of the pipes and everything, the pipeline and everything. So I'm pretty sure that we just get the
This is
tail
better than
stuff.
Jersey.
When you live in the north and
Can't do
Midwest,
Jersey.
you have that, like St.
I'm not a
Louis,
Jersey person.
No,
straight from the
Jersey
tap.
has a special place on earth, though. My family's from there, so
In the water
Yeah,
and
my
stuff
family's
like
from Pennsylvania, and I don't like that either.
I don't know what to tell you.
that. You tell
Well-
them chlorine in the water.
They got to. They keep trying to get the Florida man. It ain't working. One of these days, we're going to get that Florida
up.
man.
Well, you know, Florida's just supposed to like sink eventually too.
I believe that.
Like
whole
Italy.
state.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it. Well, it's about that time.
Is it?
Yeah, it flew by, right?
Wow, time flies when you're having fun.
Hey.
She's having
Time
a good
flies when you're having
time.
fun.
Episode 4, that's the 4th time somebody come here and said, wow, done already? What? They wanted to go farther, but no. That means you gotta come back.
All right,
More stories.
I'm down.
Just keep going.
You about to get a pop something serious. Oh man.
Social media.
Social media.
Yeah.
You know
So,
you messed up,
yes.
right?
So, plug your social media to everybody in the Swerve City Podcast universe. I said universe.
Oh, what my social media is?
Yes.
Oh, at
Somebody got the contract.
Oh, Lord.
Right. It's at Simone G. Johnson on Instagram and Twitter. And that's about it.
Boom. Plug your social media.
Yeah, man. Teasy Scott. You know, Twitter, Instagram, ballhead. You know what I'm saying? I got 2 numbers today.
Scallywag, ain't got no hair in the back.
Playing, boy. Ladies was like, oh, you got a ball head. I was like, yeah, man, this is not time. You know what
Show
I
the
mean?
band-aid on the back of it, though.
I was gonna bring that up, but I didn't want to say it. But now that I feel like we have to do it.
It's gotta be talking.
Yes,
about
Lord, is that
I've been
you?
staring at it.
Yep.
So,
Is that you, Jesus? What you say?
so I was
It looked like Jamie Foxx's tattoo.
I was in the barber chair, right? And
how bad did he get you?
I nodded off. It was my fault. And I nodded off, and he was like in the back cutting the hair, and I just zing. And I was like, you know what? This is not good.
Oh my God.
And then he was like, I got you. Start bleeding in it. I got you. Pat the back of my head. He's like, yeah, just put a Band-Aid over it. You'll be all right. And you know, black people, he ain't had no Band-Aid. So I had to hold the thing to go in Dollar Tree. People looking at me like I'm crazy. And hold the thing, you know, and I'm like, where the Band-Aids at? You know what I'm saying? And then I put the Band-Aid on. It ain't even dry yet back there. So, and then I get the wrong Band-Aid because it didn't stick because my head big. And it ain't like, you know, I need the adhesive bandage. You know what I'm saying?
I need gauze.
Well, I need that super stick.
Bro, you look like a Vietnam victim, bro. Somebody help me.
Yeah, man.
Oh, God.
That's my story today. That is my story. Yeah, man. Don't fall asleep in a barber chair. Please. We was talking, he was like, yeah.
Hold up.
And then he was like, yeah, after I got that girl number. And then I was like, yeah. I was like, like, oh, God. It hurts.
That has to be so much weight in the back of your head. Because if he's doing the back of your head's forward. How did it fall back?
Well, you know, look how big my head is. You know that's a lot of weight.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, them clippers couldn't handle that.
He said it got hit in the fold. Forward back.
Yeah. You know, he hit me right in the crease, too. So, you know, I was my head back. I was like, the whole clipper got in that
It was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to teach you how to.
Boy, hey, after the barbecue, you spray the clipper sauce.
He better not have freaking put the thing on the back of your head.
Oh, you know we did. You know we had the alcohol. And he tried to like, hold on now, this is gonna sting. Yeah, I bet it does.
And he put the green one or the blue one?
The green one.
Oh, I'm sorry. He put the rubber
He put the green alcohol.
He put the 97% alcohol.
The green alcohol. He made sure them clippers were disinfected.
Right, he said, I got
my God, man. And we was in a good conversation, and I was like, yeah.
See, now you fell asleep.
And I was out, man. I passed out.
Bitch won't do that no more.
Mom can't take much more. Wrap this up.
Wrap it up.
I'm inside.
Follow TZ Scott with 2 T's on social media, Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
God damn.
I'm the Man Video, SummerSlam weekend. Make sure you guys check that out. And that's it. That's my story about my big head.
Why don't we start off first?
Yeah, I was thinking that we should have told that story first.
You should have told that story first.
You got anything?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Aerial_Monroe, also on Twitter, Aerial Monroe, or just look up Big Swole. I'm the first person pops up, pretty much the only important Big Swole out there. Huge shout out to my new uncle, Dwayne Johnson. I love you, man. Put me in Fast and Furious 9.
They're driving on the moon.
Yeah, I told her next movie they're driving on the moon.
They're driving on the moon.
Craters and everything.
Listen,
that's the only way left to go, Dwayne. Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, you know, I'll audition and everything. It should be easy paperwork. My last name's Johnson too, so boom, seamless. Put me on.
Johnson Family Vacation.
Johnson, yeah.
And since you already on camera, plug your stuff too, mister.
Well, I wasn't even supposed to be here. I just want to say.
I was supposed to be here.
I just want to drink my
I ain't supposed to be hitting here tonight. Don't you believe it?
You know who I miss on that note? Petey Papa.
Oh,
hey!
Good one.
This one,
I gotta send y'all the link to me and my friend's hype playlist. I feel like y'all would appreciate it.
And I'm gonna send y'all a playlist as well.
And I'll give you Buck.
Hey, Crime Mob.
Field Mob.
Not Field
Let's
Mob.
go.
Crime Mob.
Crime Mob.
What is your
What's that Field Mob?
Death Clock.
Follow me on MartinCasals.com. I stream on Twitch. Just go to MartinCasals.com. You'll find everything there.
Easy. Boom. And as always, be confident in everything you do.
Wash your ass.
In the back of your head.
Or you can get that pop pop.
I'm drinking all of that.